The cost associated with the COVID-19 social interventions, the governor admitted, had pushed Ghana's total public debt stock to 273.8 billion Ghana cedis as at the end of September 2020, making up 71% of the estimated GDP. Speaking on the deteriorating fiscal situation, an economist at the University of Ghana Business School, Dr. Patrick Assuming, said focus should be on managing government's interventions programs to prevent any wastage.
I'm afraid our fiscal position might get worse before it gets better. And I don't think we should be extremely worried about that. I think, specifically regards to the announcement for the lifeline consumers, I always felt that from the beginning, when we gave all these freebies to people who probably didn't need it, if we had started with that approach, with a little bit more targeted approach, that would have allowed us to extend it for those who need the support the most for a longer time. As it were, that wasn't the case. I think, whatever it is, we should still be able to support lifeline consumers as long as it doesn't really get extended to the middle class and then the relatively richer folks. But I think we are still in a crisis, and this is not the time for us to become too concerned with how much the debt is. If you should be concerned with anything about the debt, it should be the funds that we are borrowing, what are we using it for? We have to commit it to something that will benefit the long-term growth of the economy. At the same time, the last time I spoke to you, I said we have to start the reforms that will ensure that we are able to collect more revenue. Because when the economy recovers and we haven't done those things, it's not automatic that when the economy recovers, we collect the needed taxes that we need to retire our debt. So for now, as we are still in the crisis, I don't think, we should probably put the discussion about the debt a little bit on the back burner. It doesn't mean we should give the politicians free rein to spend on whatever they want. Obviously, we have to keep an eye on what we are spending on and make sure that what we are spending on is an investment in the economy that will ultimately boost our future growth. And at the same time, we are ready that when that additional growth comes, we'll be able to collect more by way of taxes.
Meanwhile, ahead of the announcement of the first policy rate for the year 2021 on Monday, Dr. Patrick Assuming says he is hopeful the Bank of Ghana will maintain the monetary policy rate at 14.5% rather than increasing the rate in an attempt to rein in inflation, which ended the year 2020 at 10.4%. The Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank has since Tuesday, January 26, been meeting to review development in the economy. The meeting ended on Friday, January 29, and will be followed by a communication of the committee's assessment of the economy and interventions on Monday, February 1, 2021. Ahead of the expected announcement, Dr. Assuming has highlighted the difficult situation the central bank is in, but maintains a stay of the policy rate will be the best thing for now.
I think it's a little bit tricky situation for the bank because we are in an inflation targeting regime, and the last reading, the inflation rate has picked up. We are now at 10.4, which means we are above our threshold. Our medium-term target band, the upper limit of 10. So ordinarily, you would think that maybe this might be a time where the central bank should probably start taking action to rein in the inflation. But that's if you believe that this is really reflecting some underlying trend towards a higher inflation going forward. Then you also have to balance that with the fact that there are some weaknesses in the economy. It appears that we may be recovering from the COVID, but the recovery seems a little bit slow, too slow for our liking. The last two readings of the GDP number we've had negative growth. So it means that the central bank should be a little bit careful not to start raising rates in order to fight the inflation. So My expectation that maybe they might wait a little. I think if the inflation number hasn't gone up as it did, and it wasn't a small increase, it was about 0.6 percentage point jump. So maybe if it hadn't gone up, there would have been a stronger basis for the bank to consider reducing the rate. But I think as it is, maybe it might be better for them to keep waiting, to stay the rate and observe how the economy develops.